right, we are starting the Tar Heels. You're welcome. Good, thank you. I got some water. We're reading Tar Heels, the Tar Heel Apostolate. It is a pretty picture on there. To Mary Immaculate, Queen of Apostles in Every Land, 1944, by the Catholic Foreign Mission Society of America, Maryknoll, New York. The music that was playing, I love that for dance class. It's so fun to do dance too. Just freestyle, kind of get the body moving, kind of go with the flow. Spend more time where it might feel tender or tight. Breathe, appreciate. Just be, yes, beautiful. Acknowledgement. This historical data, together with the excerpts from letters, diary, and magazine articles used in this book, were all gathered by Reverend George C. Powers of Maryknoll and arranged by him in chronological order. It remained only for the author to read the wealth of material which Father Powers had prepared and reduced it to the present volume. In a work of this size, it was impossible to make use of all the information at hand, but it is hoped that at some future date there may be presented a truly definitive biography of the Tar Heel Apostle. Part 1, Boyhood in North Carolina. To God, who makes boyhood so happy, I tell you, I'm a Tar Heel. And I tell you, sir, you are not. Tar Heels are born, not made. The roots of Tar Heels go deep into the soil of North Carolina, sir. Just given here or calling yourself. Just living here or calling yourself a Tar Heel doesn't make you one. The ancestry of a Tar Heel has to go back to the beginning of the South, sir. The first speaker squirmed for a moment. Do your folks go back that far? He asked. Yes, sir, said the other. My folks and my wife's folks, the Bonds. The Prices and the Bonds are true Tar Heels, and so are all our children, sir. Alfred Lanier Price was a loyal defender of the Old North State. At the moment when he was interrupted to defend the honor of Tar Heels, he was preparing an editorial for his newspaper, the Wilmington Daily Journal. Lincoln was not yet elected, but Alfred Price was beginning early to launch his attack on the rail splitter. It was August 19th, 1860. A hot sun beat down on Wilmington's streets, and men in their shirt sleeves lounged in the shaded doorway of the Journal. Listen to Al Price, will you? One longer was saying. Ain't it warm enough without him getting head up about politics? What's he shouting about now? Oh, the same old thing, the rail splitter. Lincoln? Uh-huh. Why, he's got no more chance of being elected than Jackie Fitz, the foolish boy. Listen to Al go on. And the clear, crisp voice of the editor could be heard saying, I'm referring not only to that slab-sided, rail-splitting Illinois politician, but to the system that he represents. We're thinking only of ourselves if we say that the perils of submission are greater than those of the other course. I tell you, our rights, our equalities, are no longer safe. Sure as head up, chuckled one of the Lungers. Here comes his oldest girl across the street running. Wonder what's up now. That the Price house over there. That the Price house over there? Uh-huh. Looks as if she's in a hurry. Yo dad's up there spoutin', Maggie, and the man pointed up from the stairs, whence he came the voice of the editor once more. If Lincoln's elected, the government will be disrupted, the southern states will be destroyed, and... In a moment, hurried footsteps sounded on the stairs, and the editor, followed by the breathless Margaret, dashed across the street to the low house shaded by long-leaf pines. A neighbor woman was waiting in the dark hall. "It's another boy," she said. "A boy?" breathed Mr. Price, as if the miracle of generation were still new to him. "Clarissa," he asked. "She's just fine. You can go in." The father pushed open the green baize door that led into the bedroom. His wife, gently reproaching him, said, "Our 8th child, and still you worry about me. Have you no faith?" Her husband, noticing a rosary twined about her strong fingers, smiled and answered, "No, my dear, you've got all the faith. Where is he?" "The nurse will bring him right in. I've just been thinking of a name for him." "How about Thomas, my father's name? None of the boys have been called Thomas yet." "Doubting Thomas," teased Clarissa Price. "Or Thomas the Apostle, after Father Murphy and the patron of our church." "Well, at least Thomas." "Thomas Frederick," added Mrs. Price, "for Dr. Frederick Gallagher." "Splendid, my dear. And if he's faithful to both his patrons... Oh, here he is." As Alfred Price received the blanketed bundle in his arms, his wife's thoughts raced back to those days, almost 20 years ago, when she, Clarissa Bond, boarded at the home of Dr. Frederick Gallagher while attending school at Washington, North Carolina. It was through the example of this excellent Catholic family that she had first been attracted to the church. Miss Gallagher realized only too well what the conversion of Clarissa might mean to the Bond family, and she appreciated the harmful misunderstanding that would arise concerning herself, but the little inquirer was determined and not to be discouraged. She had prepared herself for any eventuality, and family troubles counted little with her when she placed in the balance with the peace of soul which she sought. There was one serious stumbling block in the way of her acceptance of the faith of her fathers, and this manifested itself very clearly in her study. While she found herself ready to accept all other doctrines of the Church, she was assailed by misgivings concerning the devotion of Catholics to the Mother of God. Actually, her fears were only about what her Methodist background had told her was the devotion of Catholics in this regard. The truth of the matter is that she already had a real, genuine devotion to our Blessed Mother, a fact that she readily realized when God took pity on her honest fears and gave her not only the precious gift of belief, but also an unusually tender love for our Blessed Mother as well. A sense of comfort. Sure, yeah. The Catholic, but the trouble which she had anticipated with her family had been only too well realized when she became a Catholic. Her ancestral home was then closed to her forever. The young convert had thereupon found an assured refuge in the home of Dr. Gallagher, to whom she turned once more. In the circumstances, she could not have found better surroundings in those first days of her conversion, for the doctor always clung tenaciously to his treasured faith and made others respect it. Clarissa Bond would never forget the debt that she owed for the kindness and affection which she had received from this Catholic family. In the Gallagher home, she had later met Alfred Lanier Price, an Episcopalian, and from that home she had gone forth as his bride. Father Coffey, who had witnessed their marriage, was long since dead. So too were Mrs. Gallagher and the doctor. But the memory of that valiant, good man and his influence on her life had never been erased from the mind and heart of Lisa Bond. Now she could repay some of that debt. Yes, it must be both names, Thomas and Frederick. Thomas the Apostle, Frederick the faithful Catholic. We'll pause there, read a little more later.